This video is being made as part of a playlist that I'm putting together on a Jewish study. And the first video, which if you're watching the playlist, you've already seen it. If not, I'll link it below. But the first video, the guy does a very good job. I would say 85–90% of what he says is right on from what I can tell. I plan to do a similar video, but it goes much more in depth because trying to explain who the Jews are is a huge issue. It can be broken down in many ways. I'm going to try to put it, and this isn't going to happen right away. This will take some time. But I want to do one video on the Illuminati, because that's important. I want to do another video on the Rothschilds, because they're probably the most prominent dark side or evil family that claims to be Jewish. I could do a video on Khazarian Jews, but that'll probably I'll be able to explain that when I explain Rothschild, because there's a direct connection there. I could also do a video on modern Israel, and then of course there's biblical Jews, and even that could be broken into a couple parts, because there's the New Testament Judaism, there's the Old Testament Israel and Judah, the split nation, and there's the whole nation of Israel, the Hebrew people under King Saul, King David, King Solomon. And then of course there's also the modern religion of Judaism. And my goodness, there could even be a video done, because it's related, on biblical Israelites, what they are. Is it the church? Is it something else? Ethnical Israelites over spiritual Israelites. And what's the difference between an Israelite and Jews? But so I'm just going through that list, but that's an idea that just shows you there's a lot to this subject, and it can be broken down. Of course, you can look up many other videos on YouTube on this topic, but just as with the previous video, if you're watching the playlist or the one linked below, if you watch it afterwards, he gets a lot of things right. So one of the things he gets wrong is his understanding of the protocols of Zion. And that's fine, because it takes some deep research to find out what that is. And he went several levels deep. It wasn't shallow research. He did good research, because when you go deeper and you discover there's this thing called the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, and I have a copy over there, but I'll talk about that later. The explanation for it is that it's a hoax, that it's just part of this anti-Semitic thing. Unfortunately, there's several layers going on here, and bottom line is it's not a hoax. This ties into the Rothschilds, the Illuminati, which is the dark element of the greater modern Jewish people. They claim Judaism. I believe that the Bible explains it pretty easily. The Bible explains several things. The guy in the video explained a little bit. He doesn't really give a reason, an explanation, but he tries to explain why the Jews are hated, and he does a good job, at least historically, showing the precedent for it. But he doesn't really get into the biblical view, just possibly because he references his friend's video where he goes into the origins of the Jews, which I've seen that before, and he does an okay job. But when any non-believer tries to examine things from the Bible, they always tend to either miss things, misinterpret things, or generalize too much, or just pull from history because they don't trust the biblical record, not realizing that the biblical record is the best record. So the simple reason for what makes the Jews have so much problem is because Satan's after them. They're God's people. They're special people. And so Satan hates them. And then with the study of anti-Semitism, researchers and historians, again, outside of the Bible paradigm especially, though some Christians do the same thing, unfortunately, buy into this kind of a double deception, because they believe when they study that they're trying to see the truth, and they say, oh, the Jews didn't kill Jesus, the Romans did it. No, the Jews did kill Jesus. If you know your New Testament and you trust the historical record there, because again, it's the best historical record. They did kill Jesus, but it's because Satan used them. And yes, it was under the authority of Rome technically, but Pilate made it very clear, yeah, I'm letting you guys do this, but this is an innocent man that you're putting to death. So it's there's just so much to this issue. But I just wanted to put this video together because I'm creating a playlist, and I wanted this to be second on the list, just to show that there is more to this issue. And as good a job as the first video does, there are some things that there's more to this issue, and I just wanted to at least put out a bit on this. But I do plan to do more videos in the future on the topic of the Jews. Like as I listed before, there's so much. The Illuminati issue ties in with the Jewish issue, and that really helps explain why there is a dark side to the Jews, so to speak. It's not all of them. It's a minority of them. And it really ties in with the Sanhedrin. And I think I'll put that, maybe I should put that video next. Because there's a current son of the Sanhedrin. And he explains a lot. And he really helps you understand the Jewish problem, at least from the Sanhedrin point. And the Sanhedrin's fully under the control of the Rothschilds. In other words, they're under control of the Illuminati. So that doesn't help. When you have this entire nation, this ethnic, religious group that has bad leadership, that's going to have an effect. It's very similar to how the Vatican, which is, I believe, a bad organization, and it's leading this entire world of Christendom, of Catholics and believers that trust in the Pope and the Vatican. Some don't, but some do. Same idea. There's bad roots here. And this is all part of Satan's deception. The Bible explains these things. But without getting into any deeper, more videos to come. This is just a brief video, basically just spelling out that there's a lot to this issue.